BC Lions this weekend will play the Saskatchewan Roughriders, so we know there's going to be a lot of green in the stadium, but there's also going to be a lot of orange in the stadium, as the Lions are giving away 10,000 shirts to commemorate Orange Shirt, Truth and Reconciliation, and they've got a pretty interesting logo. I love the way this looks, and it's gotten some pretty good attention.
Yeah, the logo designed by Corinne Hunt. 10,000 T-shirts going to be given away with that logo on at the game. They're also donating 350 tickets to residential school survivors, making a $20,000 donation to the Orange Shirt Society. So the Lions, of course, making some good big picture here.
National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Get a little bit of that green out of BC Place and replace it with a lot of orange. So hopefully you get a chance to go to that game. Again, limited capacity on Friday, which is usually tough because that's their best crowd of the season.
Yeah, Saskatchewan coming to town. You know there's going to be a lot of Rider fans there. Always makes for a great atmosphere.
Now, as we talk about what's gone on with the league thus far, the amount of injured quarterbacks is unbelievable to me. And right now, there are only 2 teams that have yet to start multiple quarterbacks this season. Winnipeg and Montreal. Everybody else has started or shown meaningful playing time, because Saskatchewan hasn't started 2 quarterbacks, but they did have their backup have to play quite a bit when 2 games ago when Cody Fajardo had to leave with the head injury. So
Hamilton, 3.
Hamilton's had to play 3.
Yeah, Watford, Mazzoli, and Dane.
And don't be surprised if Ottawa winds up in that direction as well with Duck Hodges that's been added to the list. What do you attribute it to?
I mean, defenses, as we've seen, are ahead of offenses right now. So maybe you can say that just the pressure that some of the defenses are bringing on to quarterbacks and such. But I also think, big picture-wise, and I know this was such a huge topic of discussion in baseball this year with all these injuries in baseball, and everyone was talking about last year being only a 60-game season and how that played into it. I think the big picture is this: the fact that these players probably aren't using the same facilities that they are in the offseason in terms of their training programs, right? They might be limited in what they did in terms of their offseason training programs. Yeah, okay, they obviously trained, but perhaps they didn't utilize the same services or the same workout facilities that they did in the past, and maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. An inability to prepare the way you normally prepare, that affects how you come into a season. Coupled with the fact that they didn't play last year, there's some rust both physically and mentally. A number of quarterbacks were coming off injuries coming into the season. So it's been very interesting, and I don't think we're done yet. And on that,
do you think maybe it is just what it is, though?
Look, everyone's got theories whenever there's injuries, and then you change rules to prevent injuries. But when you look at the types of injuries, it hasn't been all head injuries. It hasn't been all knee injuries. It hasn't been all shoulder injuries. There's been a bit of everything, and I just can't recall seeing anything like it. And even guys that have come back, like you look at a guy like Bo Levi Mitchell. Watching Bo Levi play in that last game, I'm not sure what I was watching, right? I mean, just short hopping balls, missing receivers, and it's easy to say that they're not all on the same page, but then Jake Mayer comes into that Calgary game and all of a sudden he's 9 for 9 and they look great. So is he still suffering the effects of an injury? I'm not quite sure, but just looking at it, it's like I'm not watching the same player. And that guy's arguably the face of the league still.
Yeah, and the CFL is such a quarterback-driven league, and I really believe that they've taken a hit in terms of the quality of quarterbacks they're getting, say in the last 10 or 15 years, because of the fact that the NFL now is looking at these smaller quarterbacks, more elusive quarterbacks. That pocket passer that used to be, frowned, just people would dream about, is now frowned upon. People want mobile quarterbacks, and I think as a result, the CFL has lost certain players to the NFL that would be here now. Kyler Murray, 25 years ago. Do you think he'd be in the CFL or the NFL?
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Pre-Russell Wilson, he would be in this league.
Right. I mean, and the CFL is losing out on those players that would just, kill in the CFL game with their mobility.
Which is why I'm always such a fan of Vernon Adams. I want him to succeed. I want to see that type of player have that kind of an impact in this league. 3 buys this week as the league's kind of getting into that stage of the season. And so we've got 3 games. Let's get to our picks. I was 3-1 last week. Moj was 2-2. A mere 500. Ticats and Red Blacks. The Red Blacks do not look good at all. They brought in Duck Hodges from the NFL and signed him to a 3-year deal. Might he play before the end of the season? Probably, but is he going to play this week? I don't know. I don't think so. So you're looking at Dominic Davis. again, who had some moments against BC, but also had some critical mistakes in that game as well. Who do you like?
The Tiger Cats could put Danny McManus at quarterback this week, and I don't know what Danny Mac's like, 52 or something. I'd still take the Tiger Cats. I mean, Ottawa right now is a tire fire. They are. I'm sorry. As much as, you want to see a good guy like Mike Benavides succeed, I don't care who the Tiger Cats have at quarterback. I'm taking the Tiger Cats to win this one. Ottawa's just a mess.
Well, I'm interested to see who they have at quarterback, whether it's David Watford or Jeremiah Masoli, and if it is Masoli, how effective he's going to be. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here like I did at the start of the year. I got Ottawa vibes like I had week 1 when they actually wound up beating Edmonton at home following a bye week. I think they're going to find a way to put enough together and to really kind of pare down what they asked Dom Davis to do. And I think Ottawa is going to find a way to surprise us all.
Okay. You take Ottawa. I'll take the Tiger Cats. Alouettes and the Argos.
I'm taking the Alouettes. Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Alouettes in this game. I mean, I look at Toronto. There's a lot of turmoil in that room right now in terms of what's happening on the defensive side of the ball. Chris Jones returned to the team as a defensive consultant. I think it's going to take a while for that square peg and round hole to kind of get fitted together with Rich Stubler and what they've done to this point versus what they're going to be doing now. And maybe that brings a surprise element to Montreal. I don't think it's going to have that kind of an impact week 1. I think those defensive concerns are going to be enough for Vernon Adams to exploit.
I'm going to take the Alouettes as well. And I mean, I saw Williams stand back firsthand in that game against the BC Lions. They ran for about 180 yards, whatever the number was. Their rushing attack looked really good. And you're right, the Argos right now are a team in turmoil. I mean, their coaching staff, the whole situation with COVID. Stubler comes in, Rich Stubler does, and you're hearing that he's trying to flip things around, not necessarily be status quo. I think it's a bit of an issue right now in Toronto, so I'll take the Alouettes to win that one.
Final one, Riders at Lions, Friday night.
Lions, baby. I'm calling it. I'm not going to say it's my lock of the week, but I feel really good about the Lions, and this is why. This is a team that played in Saskatchewan in the opening week. They were embarrassed, and I mean embarrassed in the first half when the Riders scored on their first 4 possessions. In the second half, they played them a lot tougher. They've got them at home. This team has way more confidence right now. Big road win in Montreal. They got a reference point in terms of winning on the road, winning big games. I just think the Lions are due for a big win at home, and it's against Saskatchewan this Friday.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time with this one. I'm not calling it the lock that you are just because, I also think Saskatchewan's also getting a little bit healthier as we go here. The Lions did prove something against Montreal because that's a solid team. They were, however, without their head coach. You don't take too much from back-to-back wins against Ottawa because that's not a great team right now. So this would be a real statement win. Lions in the league's power rankings right now are at 2. With Saskatchewan at 3 behind
Montreal
Winnipeg.
On the road,
that.
You don't think that was a statement win?
I think it was a good win, but I think losing Kahari Jones impacts that win, in my estimation.
All right.
So do I think the Lions win? I do, but I think this is going to be much closer than you think.